Okay, Brad. So, keeping up with the questions we have been receiving, there is a very popular one. It's getting kind of trendy with people that are starting to track what they eat. And there are many people who track their macros, and there are other people who don't track macros, but they track how many calories they're eating. Do you think it will make a real difference at the same calorie level, the macronutrients distribution?
There's two answers to that question, and yes, it would make a difference. And the biggest reason, and Alberto actually made a video on this, and it kind of goes back to the way that calories and macros are reported on labels. And there's a lot of what people don't really realize. There's a lot of rounding of the calories, on the food labels.
Okay.
And so, if you think about it, how can something have 9 grams of fat and then have the calories in even numbers, 100, 110? It's impossible,
Yeah.
And it's just because, it doesn't look pretty if it says 101 calories or 108 or something like that. So if you're tracking calories, you could be missing and deficient in macros. And then likewise, if you are going by your calories on what the food labels say, you could essentially end up going over. So you could be, targeting 1,800 calories, and by going by calories, you could easily accidentally get 1,910 on a daily basis and not even know it.
Okay.
Because the macros are off. And then secondly, you can actually end up being, especially as a weight trainer, which most of us are, you can end up being deficient in your macros. A weight trainer needs to make sure they're getting enough protein for recovery. And if you're just tracking calories, you could easily end up at, say, a 200-pound guy wants to be at 3,000 calories for the day. He could easily hit 3,000 calories and still only get 100 grams of protein, and then be deficient in that. So yeah, there's really two reasons why you would want to more focus on macros than calories.
Yeah, and I can see that happening, especially in women. Like women tend to fall short on protein intake.
Mm-hmm.
So if they're only tracking calories, they might eat like 80% carbs, 15% fats, and 5% protein.
Yep.
Something ridiculous.
Yep.
Ridiculous.
And then they wonder why they're not toning their muscle, or they're always sore. And yeah, it's because they're not recovering. They're not healing that muscle.
And we both know that carbs are not the enemy, but there is such thing as too many carbs also.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Especially in people that are very carb sensitive. You can easily throw off your behavior just by having swings in your carbohydrate.
Okay, so in a nutshell, not having a right macronutrient distribution can impair results and can be inefficient in many ways.
And inaccurate.
Inaccurate.
Yeah.
Well, I guess that makes everything clear for you guys.